if you can't admire Joe Biden as a person, then it's probably you got a problem. You need to do some self-evaluation, because what's not to like? And he's the nicest person I think I've ever met in politics.
Is that right?
He is as good a man as God ever created.
You all know Lindsey Graham, the senator from South Carolina. Now it turns out the FBI took possession of his phones. They seized his phones because he reported a phishing attack, PH phishing, where they send you an email pretending to be somebody else and try to get you to click on a link for Telegram or Pornhub or something else. Suddenly they can hack into your phone. And so Lindsey Graham got a message from Schumer. And it turns out it was not Schumer, so he reported all of this to the FBI, who then seized his phones. So now he doesn't have his phones. The FBI is looking at his phones. And call me cynical, but what if the FBI sent that phishing attack, a fake phishing attack, as an excuse to tell Lindsey Graham to hand over his phones for an investigation? And next thing you know, they're looking at his messages, past and present, because we're talking about the rainbow conservative, the neocon sidekick of John McCain, the whore of Kyiv, Lindsey Graham, who is the designated shadow for President Trump in the past, and now going forward, he is endorsing President Trump for a second term. And it's all very suspicious because this is a swamp creature, a swamp unicorn, you could say. And the FBI is now looking at his phones. Wow, how did that happen? So maybe it's a real phishing attack by Russia or China or even Israel. We just don't know, but it could be that it's part of the FBI operation, because the FBI is now more acting like spook central than law enforcement, as they did in the past. So we just don't know. But of course, this triggers me into talking about the FBI a little bit more, and that's what this video is going to be about. Enjoy.
You ask for miracles, I give you the FBI.
Shadowy flight into the dangerous world of a man who does not exist. A young loner on a crusade to champion the cause of the innocent, the helpless, the powerless, in a world of criminals who operate above the law.
Hey, it's me, and welcome to this video. Now, it seems to me that the FBI has become very lazy about law enforcement, and they're more about being a spy agency. It's more exciting, I guess, to be like spooks, to be like the CIA, but they can spy on Americans. And when you look at the raid on Mar-a-Lago, it's now proven that they have staged a photo of all the documents being on the floor with top secret markings. They framed President Trump. They set it up. They threw the documents on the floor. They had cover sheets that they had brought with them, and then put them on top of documents and photoshopped it, then sent it to the media to say, hey, see, we were justified. They also had boxes that were not in Florida, still in the possession of the government, and according to many reports, they installed GPS devices in those boxes. Then they quickly sent those boxes to Florida, to Mar-a-Lago, and then they suddenly ambush raided Mar-a-Lago. And then they found those boxes. So it means that they had all that time to plant evidence, to put whatever documents they wanted in those boxes, to then send them to Mar-a-Lago, then raid President Trump's home before anybody knows anything. And it's just part of their spook operation, just like Russiagate. They were working with MI6, GCHQ. They were making up a Trump dossier. They were spying on various Trump associates. They ambushed Mike Flynn, even in the White House, under orders of Barack Obama and Joe Biden. And now you have the same, right? Acting like spies, super spies, right? Oh, wow. They're framing President Trump. They're planting evidence. And now it's also reported that Jack Smith manipulated evidence. And that is on top of intimidating witnesses and lawyers to rig the case against President Trump, because he has nothing. So they have to create something. And the FBI is certainly helping Jack Smith, and they have helped. So what we're talking about here is framing President Trump. Now, of course, quickly I have to hark back to the kidnapping case with Governor Whitmer in Michigan. That was set up. Those people, after a couple of tries, were found not guilty because you had all these FBI spooks in the operation actually creating the crime and then saying, hey, we're arresting these people for a crime that they engineered, they recommended, and they were a part of. Then you look at January the 6th, the dummy bombs, the bomber that placed those dummy bombs that never exploded, were not meant to explode. They were dummy bombs, right? But it was a terrorist threat to stop Congress from hearing evidence of voter fraud. And so you can say that the FBI was in fact the one obstructing the workings of Congress to hear all the evidence. And that is with a pipe bomb guy that they will never find because it's one of their guys, right? And dummy bombs that were just meant to create a bomb threat to stop Congress. But then all the undercover FBI people at the Capitol on January the 6th, what about Ray Epps? And what about all those pieces of the puzzle that come together about January the 6th, where you had undercovers guiding people in, pulling them in some cases, as the video shows, and some of them even breaking windows. Those were not Trump supporters. They have footage of people that were not indicted that actually broke windows. Who are those people? So again, the FBI not acting like law enforcement, but acting like a, Mission Impossible team, right? To frame President Trump, to frame Trump supporters on January the 6th. What else did they do? Well, the truth is, even the Patriot Front, some people say that that's a Fed operation. Could be DHS, could be FBI. But I'm more concerned about framing a sitting president, framing a political candidate in 2016, in 2017, and beyond, and the Mueller probe doing likewise, then, of course, being caught, and then quickly doing damage control and the cover-up by John Durham and Billy Barr, the Attorney General. And now again, the raid on Mar-a-Lago was not justified, even though they had a warrant and they got a search warrant for it. But even that is bogus. It's kind of like how these corrupt grand juries are formed. It's a one-way process. Just like in the Russiagate scandal, they lied on the FISA applications. They lied to get all kinds of subpoenas. And there's a cover-up afterwards. So they don't even have to worry about if they're breaking the law in doing what they're doing. And so Jack Smith also, he's just casually intimidating witnesses because it's all about hurting President Trump as much as possible before November of this year. So whatever happens, Jack Smith will be protected by the system. He may even get a Medal of Honor, just like Nancy Pelosi for her job on January the 6th, denying the National Guard and having her daughter film the whole thing, like they knew what was going to happen. And you get a Medal of Freedom for that. It should be called a Medal of Fascism. And the FBI is obviously working for Joe Biden, protecting him, this whole damn family, because they have all the evidence. They can put Joe Biden away for 200 years. And they're helping him. They're hiding documents. And the same with Barack Obama. He should be in jail for 500 years. for treason, sedition, conspiracy to undermine a sitting U.S. president, and fraud on America. I mean, so many things. You don't get 500 years for nothing, right? The list of crimes that he was involved in even includes Benghazi, the creation of ISIS, and so much more. The list is endless, and Barack Obama is again behind the scenes now with Biden. But even Russiagate, that was Joe Biden, Barack Obama, and some of the underlings there. And then now again, it's behind the scenes, Barack Obama and his people, it's Joe Biden, and it's always the same spooks at the FBI, even the CIA, DHS colluding, and the prosecutors in the Northeast. These people are really the scum of the earth. And it's a stain on the FBI, yet they have so much power over all these congressmen and women, senators, that they can even get millions and millions for a new headquarters. That's their reward for spying on a presidential campaign, undermining the first term of President Trump, and now unleashing a raid on Mar-a-Lago and doing what they did on January 6th. I mean, they are really working overtime, and they will be protected. Like I said, the cover-up always comes afterwards, and they clean it all up. But right now, for them, it's all about preventing President Trump from having a second term. And what are they afraid of? That President Trump will secure the border, that he will create many jobs, that he will unleash our energy, that we will become more independent, that there will be more freedom, that everybody's successful. Is that what they're afraid of? Because it seems to me like their priorities and their wish list, it's all very misplaced. Their objectives are not to put America or Americans first. It is not to protect the USA. Their first objective is always to help protect the Democrat Party. And as you notice, when some of these Democrats get out of line, they're suddenly raided by the FBI, suddenly facing charges, which means the FBI really has a lot on a lot of people, including many Democrats, so that they're afraid to go astray, to speak their mind, to be independent. They have to become puppets and slaves, or else they will be raided. So if you step out of line, get out of line, you'll be raided. So these people are dirty to begin with, so it's kind of their own fault to put themselves in that position. But you also have it on the GOP side. Why is it that they're able to convince or intimidate 100 reps to vote along with the Democrats, to give Joe Biden whatever he wants, or at least the regime, because Joe Biden doesn't know where he is most of the time, right? But what the regime really wants. And it means that 100 reps are completely compromised in Congress on the GOP side. Yeah, completely compromised. So what's the use even to call them Republicans, right? They should have some kind of a tag that they all have to wear where it says slave. So we can see who the slaves are, who are compromised under the control of the FBI, and those that are free and open-minded and can vote according to the wishes of the American people. And so they're trying very hard, I'm sure, to find something on all the other reps and senators that they have not yet intimidated to such a degree that they become slaves. But they're working on it, I have no doubt, because now, with the same reps allowing FISA to be abused without even warrants, there will be an incredible spy operation mounted against all these remaining reps and senators that did not fall in line, and those Democrats that may be considering to do their own thing, they will quickly be spoken to, and it's like hint hint, right? And if people still consistently get out of line or don't behave like the slaves that they are, they'll be raided. Suddenly they're facing 100 years in prison. So what we're talking about here is a police state. We're talking about fascism. We're talking about a Gestapo. I mean, this is pretty bad. And all of what I'm saying is not like I'm exaggerating. These are documented facts coming out from the Jack Smith case, coming out from the various investigations of Russiagate and also January the 6th and video footage. And it's not about connecting the dots. They're already connected. It's out there. We can just see it. But because they have that control, there's nothing anybody can do about it except President Trump. He could do something about it if he has a second term. And so right away we know why the FBI is heavily sabotaging the Trump campaign and President Trump himself. Because if he has a second term, then some people will be held accountable. And it's true. If the Supreme Court doesn't give the immunity that is usually reserved for a president, that means that President Trump can order the DOJ, whether they want to or not, to prosecute Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Hillary Clinton. All of these people could be prosecuted. So you have to wonder, will President Trump do his 4 years and then just disappear, and then we're back to square one as soon as the new person gets in, whoever that is? That will not be a Trump-like person. It's not going to happen. Or will President Trump be so defining, so courageous, so heroic, that he will bring out the sword of justice and go to town on these FBI leadership people, CIA leadership people, DOD leadership people, and some of those other people out there in the various states that have conspired to undermine our constitutional republic and who have attacked our system in such a consistent way that they do have to face a penalty. And is it going to include George Soros? Is it going to include some of those left-wing billionaires that are financing all this lawfare against President Trump? And will President Trump really go after Barack Obama, the hero of the American left? Their hero is a puppet, yeah. Barack Obama was a puppet just like Joe Biden. But Biden is like the ultra puppet, like I said last time. Barack Obama is a puppet handling another puppet, and somebody else is handling Barack Obama, right? So we're talking about the FBI, DHS, the CIA, the DOD, basically getting together and running our country, regardless of who the president is, regardless of who the vice president is, that these people in a cabinet don't even matter. It's almost like for show. And they have such control over Congress because of the FBI and their files, let's say, that there's nothing that can be done about it. All these people are living in fear to be raided or exposed in some way. Why is it that every time they seem to have some trouble, they start raiding all these brothels, escort services, Epstein Island, they go to the P. Diddy mansions, they get as many videos, as many documents and emails as they can get, photographs, and it's like they're collecting damaging information and footage that can be used to compromise a lot of people out there in politics, in states, in DC, but even celebrities, right? Why is it that some of these celebrities are so obsessively anti-Trump that it's almost like they're out there at gunpoint having to make some kind of a Trump-hating statement or interview? It's very bizarre. What do they have on those celebrities, right? And so all in all, I'm not trying to be depressing anyone, but we're really talking about fascism here. I mean, we have arrived. It's already here. And there is an antidote. It's called President Trump and the second term. And he can be seen as the only person that can really make a difference now.